Have you ever found yourself looking straight up at the sky, about to tip end over end? Now imagine not even 20 minutes later, driving home with your family, slurping on a large Slurpee, just having the time of your life. You answered yes to both of those, and you probably have ridden and or own a Jeep. The Jeep, ever since its creation in the 1930s, has been debatably the most capable and best off-road vehicle that is still on the road today. I would like to give you a few reasons why I believe personally and factually that the Jeep, especially the Jeep Rubicon, is the best on and off-road vehicle in the market today. Hopefully enough to maybe even have you start looking on for price tags on Craigslist and or eBay. The reason why the Jeep Rubicon is premier is because of a few simple points such as the customization capabilities, the off-roading capabilities, and the weight distribution and traction control. When it comes to customization, I always think of a few companies that make exclusively only Jeep parts, like Terraflex, Fox, Smittybilt, Poison Spider, Falcon, and many more. How do these companies specifically stay in business, especially when they only make aftermarket products for Jeeps? And the reason is because guys and girls like me, especially idiots like me. I'll say idiots because we as Jeep owners are told you can only do so much in your Jeep. And guys like me will go out and do a little bit plus a little bit more than what we're supposed to. And when our Jeep breaks, we'll wonder why. So we'll tow it back home and we'll try to figure a way to get it back to that place and a little bit further. And next, we'll do it over and over and over again, like monkeys. Next thing you know, we're either in debt or we're upside down, literally upside down on our hood. And that's the exact reason why these companies have a niche of the third party markets, is because people like me, because we want new hoods, roof racks, decals, light bars. There's more internal components like sound systems, stereos, seats, internal lights. And there's even things like external parts, top track bars, tie rods, wheels, springs, shocks. All of these things can help your Jeep run on the road and off the road, but it also helps with your swagger and your finesse inside the Jeep community. Would you rather have a decked out, cool looking Jeep when you see another Jeep? Yeah, you would, because it's a little bit of a bragging point, and everybody likes their ego stroked just a little bit. But overall, the capabilities of the vehicle are slightly more important than the looks of the vehicle. And you need to look into changing part of the hardware of the vehicle, like the cold and air intake, new manifolds, turbocharged, supercharged, and even changing the gears in the differential. I would like to explain a little bit about the differential for those of you who may not know what a differential is. It is basically converting power in the engine into power into the tires. The Jeeps are notorious for this because Jeeps are the ones who are going off road who need that power in their tires from their engine. But then you have to ask yourself, if I change my differential, is it going to make my vehicle go slower because of all the power? Or is that power going to affect my ability to drive on the road? And the answer is no. Because with changing it, you're not changing it completely and totally into that low gear. But also your 3.6 liter V6 still has the power and capability to put out 285 horsepower and go up to 100 miles per hour. And in fact, the Jeep Rubicon has a capability of towing 3,500 pounds. But lastly, you do need to still remember about the tire size. The tire size is a crucial part of the effectability of the Jeep, mostly in its ability to crawl over objects and keep it raised enough not to scrape objects. When thinking of an off-road vehicle, you need to think of a tire that's big and wide, enough to keep you on the trail, but also rated high enough to keep you on the highway. Which Jeep style vehicles have plenty of those options in running any of those tires, which keeps you in an important balance in remembering the traction and the balance of the Jeep. I want you to think of this analogy. Imagine you trying to climb up a rocky hill on a unicycle, and then trying to climb up a hill on a bicycle. Which one will be able to get up the hill faster and more efficient? Of course, the bike. Now imagine switching thinking going up the hill on a bike versus going up that same hill on the four-wheeler. Which one's going to go up the hill more efficient and faster? It's going to be the four-wheeler. We could see the least common denominator here is more tires, more speed, more efficiency. Why is this? It's because of the points where your tires are on the ground. Those points are spots of traction. Those are very important when it comes to Jeeps. Off-road tires are usually wider and provide more points of contact, allowing your vehicle to stay more on the trail and rocks, but also stay on the road, which matter when you're driving on the highway. But also, remember, you need to think about the balance of the vehicle. The balance of the vehicle has more to do with the center of gravity than how much weight is over here versus over here. The Jeep typically is 187 inches plus wide versus a normal SUV that is 65 inches wide. You can see right there with that width, you're going to have a lower center of gravity. And the center of gravity is the reason why you don't tip whenever you're climbing up something. That way, you're able to legally drive on the road without breaking any DOT laws, but also keeping yourself from being too top heavy and tipsy whenever you go on an obstacle that requires your vehicle to get in a weird situation. I would ultimately like to reiterate some of these reasons why I personally believe the Jeep and Jeep Rubicon is the ultimate off and on-road vehicle. Firstly, the ability for it to become more customizable in many different ways in all different parts of the Jeep. Secondly, all the off-road possibilities that are given within just this Jeep style and body alone. And thirdly, the traction control and weight distribution that has already been specifically engineered to go on and off roads at the same time. And the reasons I tell you this is because I would like to plant a seed in your mind for the next time you're renting or even shopping for an SUV. I want you to think when you get onto the lot, is that minivan over there going to be able to go over a 3-foot rock ledge? Or is that convertible over there going to scrape whenever it's climbing a steep cliff edge? The answer is no. And the reason why the answer is no is because it's not a Jeep. I know this because for the facts that are put on papers, and I know this because I personally drive a Jeep Rubicon. I want to end by asking you this last question. What other vehicle can you drive down trails called Hell's Revenge and Devil's Racetrack with your whole family while listening to the Mormon Tabernacle Choir? You already know the answer, and hopefully one day I can give you a Jeep Wave.